Celebrities take photos with pumpkins, but I'll do something very different. I'll take a photo with a huge box. Hello, this is Michał Oracz and this is a new episode of Wojennik TV. So today I will be opening with you this big box which I have showed you during the intro. This box arrived a few days ago and it was sent by Awaken Realms. What is inside? Well, this is the core game of Etherfields. The game was first launched on Kickstarter in 2019 and the objective was to gather during the campaign £40,000. The campaign ended with nearly £4 million, so it was one of the biggest Kickstarter successes of the recent years. So this game was published with a lot of additional content, with a lot of stretch goals reached, but today I will be showing you only the base game. This is due to the fact that the shipment of this game was divided into two waves. During the first one, the base game was released, was distributed among backers, and the second one, the second wave, will comprise all the additional stretch goals which were unlocked during the campaign, or the expansions, etc. I decided to split my order, so I have the opportunity to play Etherfields, the core game, instantly right now after receiving it. The game was designed by Michał Oracz, a very well-known Polish designer who designed, for instance, this War of Mine, the board game, which was another excellent title and which was also a big Kickstarter hit. The game is for 1 to 4 players, aged 14 or higher. The time of play will be from 60 to 180 minutes. What is Etherfields all about? Well, we will incarnate dreamers, persons who are inside a dream, trying to understand who they are, where they are. We will be living adventures, wondering if we are inside a dream or are we awake. So this will be a very mystical, a very interesting journey which we will be living. A game which will tell us a story, which will evolve, adding additional depth, adding additional components, adding additional objectives during the campaign. Today I'd like to open this great box and to browse through the components, and there are really a lot of them inside this heavy box. So without further delay, let's now open this huge box of Etherfields and let's check the interior. Here is the huge and heavy box of Etherfields. As you can see, this is quite a big box with the name of the game very well presented on the side of this box, with a quote from Edgar Allan Poe. All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream, but this box is very real, and today I'd like to open it and to take a look at all the gorgeous components which are inside. The box is already open, so let's now take a look inside. As you can see, first we have a protective layer which will protect the other elements. Now the first thing that we uncover is a box of ISS Vanguard. ISS Vanguard will be a new game by Awaken Realms, but already now we can take a look at some elements concerning the theme, concerning the setting of this game. As you can see, we can read about what the game will be about. And here we have also a comic book which tells us the story. We have some additional information about some basic concepts of the game. This will be a sci-fi game. Very interesting indeed. I'll definitely browse through this booklet later. In the same box we have also an envelope and a small brochure. Here we have an information about what is included in this box, what will be included in the second box, because Etherfields is shipped into waves. And now we get the core game, all the stretch goals, or some of the stretch goals are supposed to be shipped in the second wave. We receive an envelope inside of which we have a thank you letter for each backer, with some kind words from the publisher, from the author, and from Awaken Realms. Last but not least, we have one additional very nice element. This will be, as you can see, the ISS Vanguard crew member emblem that you can wear if you want. So this is a nice thing, especially for collectors or for people who like such additions. Nicely done, Awaken Realms. Again, a protective layer, and here is the core box of Etherfields. As you can see, it's a monster box. Let's take it out from here. And here it is. Take a look at this. This is monstrous. This is really huge. This is one of the biggest boxes that I have ever seen. Incredible and so heavy. So I will of course open this box and we will be able to take a look at all the elements which are inside. What I really like is the fantastic artwork which is on the cover of this game. Very appealing, very attractive indeed. At the back side of this big box we can also take a look at some interesting graphics, and we've also a description telling us that this will be a game for 1 to 4 players, for players aged 14 or higher. We have also a brief description of the components, but it is far better to look inside rather than just read this list. So let's open this box and let's take a look at all those elements. The first element is the rule book. As you can see, it's the game manual with the same attracting picture on the cover. And we have, as you can see, a manual which is in colors, which has a huge list of components. It will be a real quest to browse through all those elements, to sort them, to prepare the game. Then we have a description of the board, then an explanation how to set up the game, and then the basic rules and the game overview with, as you can see, some graphical examples with some parts of the rules where you have some additional explanation with some examples, with some colors used. Some fragments are bold or underlined. So I hope that this will be laid in such a way that it will be easy to start the first game. Then you have also the description of the actions which can be taken, of the items, of the different elements which are inside. So really a lot of interesting things. At the end also an index which will be extremely helpful when searching for information during the play, and also an index of common symbols, but as you can see the amount of them is really impressive. At the end a rules summary telling us how movement will look like, how the turn order is structured, and with an explanation of the basic concepts. The second document is the Secret Scripts Manual. And this is the one into which we won't be taking a look inside because it has more than 1000 secret scripts. We shouldn't be reading through those scripts because this is all part of the story to uncover those elements, to unveil the secrets which are inside. So no picking inside. We have, as you can see, those elements which will be used to store some of the cards, important during the game. When the rules tell us to put some of those elements inside, we will be using those. Then we have the game board, which is a big game board. As you can see, it is a mounted game board. Well, let's take a closer look at it. Really big, and this is here where the game will be played. This is here where all the elements will be stocked, placed inside the playing area. As you can see, places for cards, places where some of our tokens will be also placed. A lot of place will be used on this board. A very dark board, very climatic. It will surely increase and additionally enhance the playing experience. Not a board which is, as I said, a mounted one, but it is not that sturdy that some over in some of our games. Then we have some counters, as you can see, a lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 counter sheets, and we can take a look at some of them. Here are those bigger ones. For instance, we have pain, wisdom, devotion, chaos. So those are the different feelings, the different states that we will maybe live and feel during this game. On the back side, we have some over counters, which, as you can see, and as I suppose, are associated to some of the scripts which are found inside the Secret Scripts book. And then the other elements which are inside of this huge box. Firstly, we have 2 envelopes. They are empty, but they will be surely used for something during the game. And a lot of other things. Now we have some markers. As you can see here, we have some blue crystals. Then we have some green tokens with a nice symbol on them, yellow tokens, we have some stands which will be used for some of the big counters, we have red crystals, white ones, or maybe transparent ones. We have some red counters as well. Here we have some white ones. And finally 2 dice, 1 yellow one and 1 gray with fantastic symbols on them. Very nice indeed. We receive also some empty bags which will be used to store some of the elements. This is always a nice addition. We receive the miniatures, and let's take a closer look at some of them. First, the smaller ones. Here are the smaller miniatures which are inside the box of Etherfields. As you can see, each and every of them is unique. Each of them is a small piece of art. So let's take a brief look at a few of them. Here we have the penguin. Here it is. Very nice, very detailed, extremely elegant, extremely pretty, even unpainted. But if some of you decide to paint your minis, this can be in an even more attractive miniature. Let's take a look at another one. Here he is. Look at those details. The coat is extremely detailed. Then you have the front of the miniature. That is really outstanding. And the third one. As you can see, this is a miniature with a special kind of weapon. Great. And as you can see, we have quite a lot of them in this core box. But that's not it, because we also have some bigger miniatures. Here is an example of one of them. Here you have even more details, even more interesting elements. This is something quite exceptional. It's so pretty that even just looking at those miniatures, you want to use them, you want to play the game, you want to put those elements on the board and start playing. The biggest one is also here, and here it is. Huge, really huge, but so pretty as well. Look at it. Extremely elegant, extremely detailed, with a lot of interesting elements. Now this is really terrific. But the miniatures are not the last element, because the last element, which is stored in this box and which makes this box so heavy, are the cards. And look at this, we have really tons of different cards. We have bigger ones, so those are, as you can see, of even square sizes, with some terrain feature, with some numbers which are related to scripts, as I suppose. Again, another one with a checkpoint, with a steering console, so with different terrain or different elements that we will be unveiling during the game. So as you can see, we have really a lot of stacks of those big cards. Slumber. Here we have a wave. But we have also smaller or standard size cards. Some of them are secret cards. As you can see, do not open this deck until you unlock this secret mode. So this should be something which you shouldn't take a peek on. And finally, we have also some other cards. As you can see, here is a sample card, Free Spirit. This is an influence card, again with some different information on the backside. And this is only one of the decks, because as you can see, we have really a lot of cards, more than 1,000 cards. Here is an influence card. Here is another one, Shining. As you can see, the artwork on those cards is really terrific. So all those elements are really top notch. With some symbols also. Let's take a look at another one. Here we have another one. This is Flow. A progress card, place this card. We have some information at the bottom of the card, some symbols. So it will be all part of the game to learn how to use those elements, because we have really a lot of them. Mud diving equipment, why not? If you want to do some mud diving, you will be able, thanks to Etherfields. And one last Fate card. A rusty shovel, why not? We can also find some interesting equipment in this game. So as you can see, really a lot of cards, a lot of things. The main quest will be now to sort those things, to prepare the game and to start playing. This is it when it comes to the components. As you have seen, I am not opening all the cards, I'm not opening the tokens, because it would take an eternity to show you all those elements. Rather than that, I'd like to invite you now to a very brief conclusion. I'd like to tell you what are my first impression after opening this huge and interesting box of Etherfields? Well, after looking at all of those components of Etherfields, I must say that this is just amazing. The quality of the elements that we receive, the number of those elements is just astonishing. Now, this is one of the biggest Kickstarters that I have supported, and I'm very impressed by what I have seen. The number of content is pretty amazing, and I just wonder how this game will look like when we add all those additional expansions, all those additional elements to the game. It will be a real monster. We have tons of cards, we have a lot of very pretty, very detailed miniatures. We have an interesting, intriguing rule book, and also the script book, which is secret and which I didn't want to open, not to spoil anything, but I'm very eager to try the game and to discover all those things which are inside. As in this war of mine, this will not be a game in which we will discover everything while playing a single game, a single campaign. There are a lot of information, there are a lot of story arcs which will remain hidden, and this is one of the reasons why I love such games, because each time you'll have a different playing experience, and I like it, I love it. I think it's one of the things which attracts me the most, both in this title and in this kind of title. So I will be, of course, showing you the game again during a future review, but up until then I'll just try to figure out how to prepare this game, how to take all those elements from the box, maybe use a part of them while starting to play. So this was the unboxing of Etherfields, the core game by Awaken Realms. Thank you a lot for watching this video. Take also a look at our other videos in English. We have reviews, we have other unboxings. Take also a look at our Facebook and Instagram accounts. And if you want to support Wojennik TV, you can become one of our patrons by taking a look at our Patronite account. I wish you a terrific day and see you next time.